We are Group 5 from Class 3 or 4, and the institution that we are working with is Adrift C, Madrid in Portuguese. In today's agenda, we're going to do a quick summary about the institution itself, Adrift C, and in our initial meeting, we were able to gather some information and we ended up doing some research afterwards, and we gathered enough information to do the flourishing business model canvas on the current status of the organization. Using that, we were able to find some areas where we can take action and map out the results from our ideas, which have a direct impact between Adrift C and the maritime garbage, which ultimately relate to sustainable development goals. Finally, taking everything to action, the core goal of our working hypothesis, we're going to present it to you in the final presentation and with 3 options to couple with it. So, let's talk a little bit about what Adrift C is and what they do. Adrift C is a family-based non-profit organization that focuses on beach cleaning. Using the garbage they collect, they are able to create handmade ashtrays and other utilities that they try to place in some public places. Through their activities, Lydia the founder, her husband and some customers are making the world a better place, thus gaining a sense of self-acknowledgement. Adrift C beach cleaning activities increase the quality of life of both the beaches they clean and the sea around those same beaches, thus positively affecting communities around those places. Due to its work in gathering and sharing relevant information about the trash picked, they are able to raise awareness about the issue of maritime pollution and provide data for government and institutions such as the UN. Now, talking about the Adrift C mission, they ultimately want our children to have a planet to live on in the future, as well as the children of the whales, dolphins and seahorses, making a statement of the importance of keeping the sea a better place. Talking about the Flourish business model canvas as is. Now that you have a brief idea about our partner association, here's what we managed to determine during our meeting with Lydia, our point of contact, and the research before and after it. In terms of who and what is interested in Adrift C, we arrived at a short list of 5 categories and their corresponding needs. Lydia and her husband need financial stability, self-perception, clean beaches and water. Humans need clean beaches and water as well. Supporters need self-perception, clean beaches and water, and knowledge. Government needs clean beaches and water and knowledge, and this can be affected by the election or re-election. Other institutions need knowledge and operational muscle. And if we were to look at their actual involvement with Adrift C, we would get owners and employees as Lydia and husband. Partner institutions, Oceano Azul Foundation and Network, Tattoos on Nude, Kodja, and National Geographic, Pristine Seas. The community would be humans and Oceano Azul Foundation's network, supporters, and the government. Suppliers would be the humans, and regulators would be the government and the Oceano Azul Foundation. But what about how they are actually creating value together? Well, through their activities, Lydia and her husband and Adrift C supporters clients are making the world a better place, thus getting a sense of self-acknowledgement. Adrift C beach cleaning activities increase the quality of both the beaches they clean and the sea around the same beaches, thus positively affecting all communities around those places. Due to its work in gathering and sharing relevant information about the trash, they are able to raise awareness about the issue of maritime pollution and provide data for future research. Accredited by National Geographic's Pristine Oceans project, Oceano Azul Foundation coordinates nationwide associations, including Adrift C, to gather data on maritime garbage, which then will be used by the UN to tackle the Sustainable Development Goal number 14. Indirectly, the political power, mostly at the local level, may gain support of the communities if their neighborhoods and landscapes for leisure are properly cleaned. Adrift C is acting in behalf of the state by cleaning public areas. The state is also responsible for maintaining Adrift C's installed public ashtrays. And, as is the case with pretty much anything in life, there is also value being destroyed. As the owners and employers of Adrift C, Lydia and husband carry the financial burden of this business. Ultimately, these value co-creations and co-destructions result from several types of relationships, of which we want to highlight just a few. As Lydia and her husband are both owners and employees, they not only manage and finance the Drift Sea's activities, but also do the actual beach cleaning and the conversion of maritime garbage into products. With partner institutions, share knowledge and manpower, knowledge which gets aggregated by Oceano Azul Foundation and then presented to regulators for them to take action on. The last main relationship we want to highlight is the one with humans in general, which works in two types: as a community in which the DFT tries to raise awareness and incentive responsible consumption and waste disposal, and as a suppliers, since until the issue of waste disposal gets solved, Lydia's family will always have an infinite stream of supplies to make their products. One thing about this relationship that did surprise us is the fact that even though regular channels such as face-to-face, email, phone, social media, and physical mail, and even some more irregular ones such as sea currents and human consumption patterns are used, a major and important channel appears to be missing, since the only web pages used are not Adrift Sea ones. Regarding process, we already described the partnership with the Oceano Azul Foundation and its network, and let's leave partnership with Tattoos on Wood Koja for later. Another session where we don't need to spend much time on is government. Lydia and her husband are both the owners and employers of Adrift Sea, so they are the ones calling the shots. Jumping into activities and resources necessary to achieve the organization goals, we've determined that to perform the beach cleanups, more capable human and bodies are required. The conversion of maritime garbage into products surprisingly requires maritime garbage. To get to these beaches or to the place that actually is on critical spots, Lydia and her husband must get there, so they need some sort of transportation means. The collection of information for institutions and governments also requires a computer. We are then left with the last two items of the process part of the FBMC, both related to the environment: biophysical stocks and ecosystem service, which are summarized by pieces of garbage, mostly worms and krills, that the organization picks up from the beach. We are then left with the last two items of the process part of the FBMC, both related to the environment: biophysical stocks and the ecosystem services, which are summarized by pieces of garbage, mostly worms and krills, that the organization picks up from the beaches, the sea currents required to take said garbage to the Portuguese beaches, and in order to improve their and the water's quality. By summing everything up, it is evident that for Adrift Sea to achieve its goal of wanting all children to have a planet to live on in the future, as well as the children of whales, dolphins, and seahorses, the organization incurs on traveling and repurposing costs in order to maximize the kilograms of garbage collected and the number of ashtrays placed. Following up, we'll have slide 6 with flourishing business model canvas 2B.
Hi. Regarding the future, what can we do to help them achieve their goal? We've noticed an unleveraged need from the association's ecosystem access to those whose satisfaction Adrift Sea contributes. Supporters want, but lack the means to tackle the maritime garbage issue Mother Earth and humans face. So if we can turn them into customers by purchasing Adrift Sea's products, they can go from being passive emotional supporters to actively supporting the removal of maritime garbage and reduction of its supply to the oceans, and even removing the burden related to financing Adrift Sea's activities from Lydia and her husband's wallets. Right now, only mitigation to this financial burden is when AS sells products through their other project, Tattoos on Wood, Koja, which happens very sparsely. But for customers to be able to purchase AS's products and thereby finance its activities, a new channel must be created, for which we thought of maybe an online shop, which would then not only be a channel to its customers but also to communicate with its community. And regarding the process, and the new partnership wouldn't affect governance. Only now products must be sold on the online shop, and so they must be packaged and shipped, preferably in recycled materials. With no change in the organization's relationship with the environment, we then conclude that although this would introduce the cost of packaging and shipping products to customers, it would also generate a sustainable income, improving Adrift Sea's chances of achieving their goal. Regarding the sustainable development goals, Adrift Seas obviously falls under SDGs 12 and 14. They contribute to responsible consumption and production, and directly tackle life below water, which Lydia had already picked as the organization's main focus. So to conclude, we thought about 3 different working hypotheses to convert supporters into customers and mitigate the financial burden carried by Lydia and her husband while enabling said supporters to contribute to the fight against maritime garbage. These shops are mainly a Facebook shop, an Instagram shop, or a typical website shop. While all have their own advantages and disadvantages, we will need to meet again with Lydia to see what suits her company and her interests best.